guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be doing a video where I show you guys how I make Sims. So someone suggested this. I'll put the comment on the screen now, and I realized after seeing that comment that I really don't showcase, like, when I'm making Sims I sort of just do it, and then I don't realize the fact that some of you that don't really know or like have played Sims before may not know how to actually make Sims, or at least the same method that I do. So I thought we'd just do a little video today where I sort of talk through what I'm doing. Also, shout out to these earrings, how amazing are they? Sorry, anyways, I'm going out in like an hour, which is why I actually look decent, so that's fun and fresh. So basically I just sort of want to show like how I make my Sims. So I'm just gonna start off. The first thing I always do is I go ahead and strip the Sim off. I know this sounds kind of weird, but there's something about it that, like, having the Sims clothes on it just makes it harder to make Sims. I don't know why that's the case, but I feel like it's the case, and so I've just always done that, where I've stripped my Sims off first. It's very odd, I know this, okay, I know this. So after I've done this, the first step is normally to change the Sim's skin tone. So I just sort of click through a random bunch. I have some custom skin tones which I'll link in the description. I'm gonna link any mods that I mention in the description as well, in case you guys want any of them. But the first thing I normally do is just change the skin tone. I might just go with somewhere around here for this Sim. Maybe I'll adjust the slider as well to sort of change the Sim up a little bit more, but I don't tend to do that, to be honest. It seems like a lot of effort that I just don't have in me. Now, the second step is always the eyebrows. I find that the eyebrows are a very important part of making a Sim, and I feel like if I don't have the eyebrows set like completely, I feel like it changes the whole Sim's vibe. So a lot of the time I tend to go with either bleached eyebrows or no eyebrows, but we won't do that today, just to go a little bit different than my normal Sims. I have a lot of different eyebrows. A lot of them are from GoPolls.me. They are like Patreon exclusive because I did used to be Patreon to them, but I'm not anymore. But a lot of these eyebrows are from them. They have amazing eyebrows, amazing makeup as well, and they're definitely like my go-to for eyebrows. But I also have a lot of Obscurus. I have this Praline collection, which is Max's Match. I don't tend to use these as much, and I also use a lot by Peachy Fairy as well because theirs are amazing. Honestly, these ones by Peachy Fairy are my absolute go-to, so I think we'll go with these because they're very cute and they're very bushy and I absolutely love it. So let's move on to the eyes now. This is always my next step. So I tend to just go with the facial features. Now, the way I do this is kind of maybe a little bit different to a lot of people. I'm so quirky like that. Sorry, I just said that anyways. I'm planning on doing a video soon where I showcase you guys my presets because I have a lot, and a lot of you guys ask for them all the time, and like they're sometimes kind of hard to put in CC lists because they don't come up when you search them sometimes, so it's kind of annoying. But I do have a lot, so let me know what you guys think in the comments of me doing a video like that where I showcase you guys my sliders and presets. But normally what I do is I select an eye that I'm thinking of. I go ahead and change the eye color. These eyes are from a certain person who I've forgotten the name of, but I will link them in the description. Then before I bother even like changing the eyes or anything, I tend to move on to the nose and just give them all like the most basic sort of facial features that I'm just sort of feeling, because sometimes for example, the lips on this Sim are very much not what I would keep because I don't make my Sims happy. We know this by now, or maybe you don't, maybe this is the first video I've seen of mine, but I do not like making my Sims happy at all. So I tend to give them a more of a sad, pouty face. I don't know why I do this, but it is. Then at this point, I tend to go into detail edit mode, which you get to by clicking this button here, detail edit mode, and I just go ahead and change some of their features. So I just sort of play around with what I'm doing. I never really have a general idea of actually what I'm going to make a Sim like before I start. Most of the time I sort of just wing it when I go into it, and I find that's the best way of doing it because a lot of the times when I have like a specific person or a character or a face, like from Pinterest for example, that I want to try and recreate, it takes away a lot of the fun for me because I feel like I'm not doing it myself, and I feel like there's not enough experimentation, and I feel like the experimentation is like the best part of making Sims. Like, I love going back and forth and like making their different facial stuff. So I don't know, personally that's the way I do it. Obviously you can do different ways, but this is just my method of making Sims. Some little sliders that you may not have known about is, first of all, is this one here. So if you click in detail edit mode on this bit of the eye, like the inner eyelid, you can go left to right. So with your mouse, like go left and right, and you can actually change like this shape. I don't know how you call it, but it's like the shape of the eyelid. I feel like it changes a lot of what the Sim looks like. This is one of those things that like I don't do very often, but I feel like I should do it more because it does definitely change the Sim's face, or especially the eyes, a lot. You also can drag this up and down as well to sort of give the Sim more sort of, I don't even know what you call this. I'm trying to be all professional, guys, but I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I just make Sims. I'm trying to be like, this is what I do with this slider. No, couldn't tell you, but I do use a lot of these different little sliders that are in detail edit mode. Another one is this one, which is the corner on the other side, and you can again up and down this one and also move it in and out to make your eyes like wider or like thinner. I don't even know what I'm saying. I also really like changing this feature, which is this middle bit of the eyebrows. It's kind of like, I feel like this is more common that people do, but I really like making this a lot wider. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a Sim style thing, but like I just tend to do that a lot more recently. It's like like one of those things that I've sort of just adapted to doing, and I've kind of just done it a lot. You can also change the tip of the nose like this, and also the nostrils you can make up and down and bigger and like wider and stuff like that. So I tend to just do that a little bit to sort of play around with it and just sort of see what I think looks good. Now, when I get to about this point, I tend to move the Sim's head. So by just clicking out of detail edit mode and moving around the Sim's head, I tend to sort of play around with it, see what kind of face shape I'm going for. You'll see that I do this head tilt kind of a lot. I don't know what it is. It's like one of those things where I'm like trying to look back and like see what looks good. I don't know why I do that, but it's like one of those annoying things that I do. After this point, I tend to do the ears because a lot of people don't change the ears, and I feel like that is a very much a underrated feature of the Sims because there is something so fun about giving Sims elf ears. I tend to go with these ones by f.a.q, and they are so stunning. I just love the way that they look. Like, they're not like straight up, they're like out, and then I just sort of make them a little bit smaller, and I just feel like they look so cool, and I wish people had these ears naturally, but they don't. I'm also just gonna go ahead and outside of detail edit mode just play around with the Sims eyes because you can drag them around, make them bigger, smaller by clicking on the outside bit like this. You can make them bigger and smaller, and also by just dragging them around you can make them in various different ways. We also have the eyebrows, which you can move up and down, left to right, to make the head a little bit different and make the eyebrow shape a little bit different. And also the edges as well, you can move up and down to make them look a little bit more sad or a little bit more angry. It kind of just like one of those, another little feature like that. So once I'm happy with my final face, or at least the face I'm going to go for now, I don't tend to do like too much with facial features. I feel like a lot of people spend a lot more time than I do. Like, for example, I haven't even looked at the side profile. That's like one of those things that I just never look at for some reason. I just don't find it enjoyable to do the side profile. I don't know why, don't ask me. I do not know either, but I would then move on to skin details. So if you click onto your Sim's face, click on face here, and then click on skin details. This is only really when you've got CC because otherwise skin details don't tend to do them much. But I'll show you guys my favorite, which is this one by Ghost Putty. It is so beautiful, and I tend to go with this one here. So as you can see, it really changes the Sim's face. I feel like it does so much and so little at the same time, and it's perfect. It has these little freckles, and the lips look so good. Everything about it is just gorgeous, and I use it all the time. I have this mod that you might see a lot of people using if you don't already know what it is. It is this mod here that adds little dividers between different categories. So for example, skin details, a lot of the time when you have a load of skin details like me, as you can see, it's kind of difficult to know which skin details are on which layer. So the way that this works is it puts it in between. So for example, say if I didn't know if this skin here and these were on the same level, having this in between means that I know that these are two different things and I can apply them both. Otherwise, I might be clicking around and then accidentally taking other ones off without noticing. So it's like a really handy little mod that honestly is literally like I've never stopped using it since I got it. Like, it's one of those mods that are an absolute must have. I'm a big fan of freckles, so I tend to add freckles. These are my favorites by Peachy Fairy. Again, Peachy Fairy has amazing CC. I would definitely recommend them. So we'll go with these freckles here. I always add eye bags to every single one of my Sims. These by Tamo, and they are amazing. I just add this. I feel like it defines Sim's eyes way more, and I just really like how it looks. Then a lot of the time I use this f.a.q Misc Details, which is a brand new one that they came out with. It's only been out for like a few weeks, maybe a month or something like that, and it's a go-to now for me. So I tend to go with maybe like that. It just adds a bit of definition around the nose. And honestly, I just sort of click around and see what I like. Like, a lot of the time I don't know what I'm gonna click, but sometimes I'm like, oh, that looks really good. Oh, that looks really good. And like, it's just random ones, but it's just so great because you can just add so much more definition to your Sims that you wouldn't be able to normally. For example, I love this one here, which adds a little, what's it called? Cupid's bow, wherever it is, to definition there above the lip. It's actually so cute. Another one that I really love using is this Pixar's face kit. I tend to use this one a lot, especially for noses, because it adds so many various different things to define the nose in different ways, and it makes the nose look so different. For example, like this changes the nose shape completely, but there's also ones like this face one, which I also love, which just sort of adds like a face shine to your Sim, which I might actually go for as well. Another one of the go-tos is this one here by Peachy Fairy. Again, as you can tell, I have literally all their CC. This one is like a face shine, and as you can see, it has like various different swatches, but I just love this so much. It's like a new one as well, but it is so gorgeous, and I feel like it just adds a little bit extra definition to my Sims faces. So once I'm done with the skin details, obviously this is just like the ones that I normally use. I'd normally add maybe a few more than this, but this is just my absolute go-tos. I then go over to teeth because, again, another underrated feature that I feel like people don't use enough. So my absolute favorite are these ones. I don't actually know who they're by, but I will put a link to them in the description below as well. And these teeth are my absolute favorites. I love gap teeth with a burning passion. You guys probably have noticed that like pretty much 90% of my Sims have gap teeth, gap tooth, gap teeth. I don't know how you say it, but gap teeth is, they have those. And you know what? I love gap teeth, so I give all my Sims these. And I also have other ones by Unisim as well, which are like these ones as well, which I really love. But I will go with these ones for today because they are my go-to. So now I move on to lashes. For some reason, I do this like next. I feel like that's kind of a weird order. Most people probably don't do the lashes yet, but I do personally. So these are my favorite. They are by Kajiko. Obviously, everyone knows Kajiko lashes unless you've just started playing the game, but you will know Kajiko lashes. They are like the most famous eyelashes, and these are the ones I use. So I love version 2, and then I use this bottom one here. This is my absolute favorite. I love how they look so much. They're like so fluffy, if that makes any sense, like fluffy looking. I just love them. But another one of my favorites is these ones by Sims, and these are version 8 of their lashes, and especially this one is so gorgeous as well. It's a little bit like, obviously it's a lot less heavier than that one, and it just looks really good and very subtle. But I also am a big fan of the downturned eyelashes by Kajiko as well. These are uncurled and they again look really stunning on certain Sims, but I'm gonna go with the Sims one for today because I think this Sim suits them a lot. So now I move over to the makeup section and I go for some contacts. So my number one favorite right now, obviously this changes like every single week, but my favorite right now are these marigold ones. I love them so much. Something about the way that they look, and they're so mysterious looking, is actually so gorgeous to me. So I love like the greens and the browns, especially for these eyes. They look so good and I feel like I keep using them, but I can't even help it. I also really like these contacts 48 by Sims 3 Melancholic, I'm pretty sure, because they have amazing green swatches. So if you notice that contacts are really big like this, you can go into detail edit mode and then click on the pupil, and you can shrink them by pulling your mouse left and right, and this will make them smaller and bigger. But you can also, which I didn't find out till recently, move them up and down. So if you use your mouse and pull up and down whilst holding onto the pupil, you can actually make them up and down to make your Sim look very tired or very aware of life or very alien-like, you know? You've got all the different options, but I didn't know this till recently, and moving them up and down is an absolute lifesaver because it looks so good. But I think for this Sim, I'm going to go with the marigold ones just because I am a big fan of them recently, and I'm going to go with them in very dark brown like this. And again, I'm just going to make them a little bit different shaped just to bring them down a little bit. And yeah, that is what I do for contacts. My next step is always blush. Literally, the thing is, I've just sat down to record this like randomly because someone suggested it, and I was like, yes, great idea. But I literally have never, like, I didn't write down the steps or anything. This is just complete, like, just what I do every single time. Like, I don't change my method. Maybe that's a really stupid thing to do, but it's just the way I like to do it. So the next thing I do is go onto cheeks in the makeup section, and I get this blush number 3 by, again, I think Sims 3 Melancholic, and I tend to go with these 2 down here. And because they use the slider method, you can change the opacity and also change the brightness and the saturation. So I tend to like making this quite like dark like this, and I just feel like it looks really good, and like you can see the difference here. I feel like it really changes up the Sim's face, and I really like where the blush is. It's like across the nose and stuff, and I feel like it just looks really gorgeous. So that is what I tend to do for the blush. Now at this point you're probably thinking, okay, you're gonna do all the makeup now. Wrong. I don't do all the makeup yet. I go onto hair next. I know this is a stupid method. I know. I'm well aware. Okay, you don't have to tell me, but it's fun. Okay, this is just the way I do it. Honestly, try not to pick up on these habits because they're kind of bad, but it's the way I like to do it, I guess. So I always go onto hairs, and then I always go click on this bar here and go down to content and open this up, press custom content, because I have so much CC. I do not want the packs and the base game stuff in this menu as well because I just don't use them. So at this point, this is probably the longest section for me because I just scroll around and click on every single hair. Like literally every single hair I have will be clicked at some point during every video. I cannot help it. It is just one of those habits that I just have to do. Like, even though some hairs look really good at first thing, like this looks amazing, but like I want to try on all of them because what if there's another hair that looks even better, you know? And like, I know that's really stupid, but it's the way I like to do it, and I hate to say that. Okay, I hate to say that, but it's true. I actually think I might use this brand new one by Sims Trouble in black. I think that looks really good on this Sim, and I'm just gonna change our eyebrows real quick. I think that looks amazing on this Sim, so I think we'll go with this. I will link again this in the description, but I think that looks really, really good. So once I found the hair, honestly, shocking I've done it this fast. This is not normally the case. It's just I've got a time limit to do this video, and we need to speed. At this point, I tend to move on to lips. For some reason, I do lips first, I think, or at least I tend to, or at least right now I want to do lips first. I feel like I normally do them first. So my absolute favorites are by Praline Sims. These are honestly the only ones I use. I don't even know. Like, literally, look how many I have. Look at all this. Look at all this. And which ones do I use? The very top ones, pretty much without a doubt. Again, another bad habit that is really stupid of me because I could just delete all my other ones, but what if one day I want to use them, you know? So I tend to go with one of these. these, or another one that I really like is these ones by Sims 3 Melancholic again, I'm pretty sure. And I really like these for like really subtle Sims. So if I'm gonna go for like more of a natural look, I'll definitely go with ones like this. I feel like they just look really good and realistic. This one by Obscurus as well, and pretty much a lot of Obscurus ones are also amazing as well. They're just very realistic, which I know kind of seems weird for someone that uses Maxis Match CC, but personally I really like the look of it, so I think I'm actually gonna go with that. Next I move on to eyeliner. I always like doing eyeliner before eyeshadow because I feel like otherwise it messes in my head, it's like wrong, you know. Oh, she looks so good with that. Again, I use Praline Sims, so this one is another one which I'll link in the description, and that looks so good on her. The inner corner looks amazing. Again, more Praline Sims when I move on to eyeshadow, so I tend to use this one here, which is literally the one I use in pretty much every single one of my Sims. I think it's from the E-Boy collection. Again, I'll link it in the description. It is so beautiful. Like, the subtlety of this one is like my absolute favorite thing. Plus there's all these different colors as well if you wanted them, but I tend to honestly just go with these because I feel like it just adds something to the eyes that I love, so I'm gonna go with that. So at this point I tend to kind of look back at my Sim and just check that everything looks okay. So what I like to do is at this point I do change the facial structure a bit again. I know that's kind of weird, like I've already changed it once, why would I change it again? But sometimes I find that like hairs and stuff make the Sim's face look a lot different, so I like to sort of just give them a little bit of a revamp and sort of just change them up a little bit more than before, and I think that looks really good. I just find that the hair sometimes makes the face look a bit different, so I tend to like changing it afterwards. So I've just looked back and I feel like her head is maybe a little bit big for her body. I do this a lot, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just shrink her head down a little bit. There we go. It's one of those things that I have to do pretty much every single time I make a Sim. For some reason I always make the heads way too big. But now we move on to bodies. So you click on the body of the Sim and click body here, and then I always go onto the body section. Now again, I have a load of presets. Probably will be doing a video on this soon, but I think I'm just gonna use one of these Obscurus ones today, so I'm gonna use this one by Obscurus. Again, play around with it all you want. Again, you can select pretty much everything on your Sim, but I really like this one because it gives hip dips, which I have, so I feel like it's very nice, and I really like doing stuff like that, and I really like the different variant body types that the presets give. Again, there's a lot of different sliders you can do, the stomach for example, the booty, the boobs, etc. But one that a lot of people just do not know of, and honestly I forget 99% of the time, is that you can actually change your Sim's posture. It's one of those little like Easter eggs that people always put in their videos, like create a Sim Easter eggs. This is one of them, okay? If you go to the back of your Sim like this, and if you click here, you'll see a little arrow like this come up, and if you click on here, hold it down and move your mouse up and down, you can actually change how your Sim's posture is. Personally, I am like this, but a lot of the time I give my Sims a better posture, or if their personality suits it, I tend to go with a worse posture, because sometimes people have really bad posture in real life, example me, and it just makes each Sim feel a bit more different to one another, and I really like doing that. So I'm just gonna give her sort of a middle posture like that. But as you can see, if I was to make it like really up, she has like more of like a stance, you know, but then if I was to put it really down, she is a lot more like slouched, like kind of how I am. So I was gonna say kind of, but it's not even kind of, it's just how I am. So I feel like the outfit's kind of self-explanatory, but I just click on either the top, trousers, or full body, click again onto this bar, click content, click custom content, and then I just sort of scroll through. I'm gonna go for a dress for this Sim personally, just because, well, I don't normally do dresses, but also I am trying to hurry, so okay, I think that this looks really cute. I think this is by HSSR. Again, I'll link in the description, but this is a really cute little dress thing, plus Night Before Christmas, Halloween is perfect. So I tend to go ahead and do accessories first. Again, a weird option, I know, but I click on the Sim again, click accessories. This is full body accessories, and give the Sim some different things. A lot of the time I have gloves which are like fishnet, so I really like these ones by Simpliciati. They are some of my favorites because you click this and then click this, and then they are like fishnets. I just feel like it looks really good and really cute a lot of the time. I don't think I'll go with it for this Sim, but here you go. So let's do some leggings. I don't really feel like any of the gloves fit, so I think we'll go for some leggings instead. And I'm kind of thinking maybe like these ripped ones by Pix. These ones again are really cute, and I just like how much rippage they have in them. And then I tend to go with some socks on top of the leggings a lot of the time. Again, this is like less so of like how I make Sims and more so like how I style Sims, but like it's the same idea. It's the same idea. I think I'm actually just gonna go with these ones. It's literally from the base game. These socks are really cute. And then I'm gonna give her some nails. My absolute go-to favorite, which you guys will see in every single one of my videos, is these ones by Aretha. They are so Oh no, don't say. Oh my God. I have this issue where pretty much every time I go onto the game, for some reason nails just don't want to work. I don't know what it is. I need, like, pretty much I have to like repair it every single time if I want to fix it, but it just does this all the time. So you can see them there, but just imagine that they're on the sim. Okay, it's so annoying. I don't know why it does either. I'm a massive fan of this bracelet, which is from Outdoor Retreat. I don't actually use really any CC bracelet. I have like a load, but I never use them. I prefer the in-game ones way more. So that one from Outdoor Retreat, and also I really like this other one from Outdoor Retreat as well. They're just like very like simple, just black bracelets, and they look kind of just cool, so I tend to go with these. If I've given my sim eyelashes on the glasses level, then I can give my sim rings, but if they're on the skin detail level, then I can't. So just to let you guys know, if you ever have issues where your sim's eyelashes are like glitching at all, it's probably because you've got rings on, because for some reason eyelashes on the skin detail section mean the rings just like glitch out. And so just let you guys know, if you ever have any issues with that, that is probably why that is happening. But I'll just give her these rings from Praline Sims, and that is pretty much all the accessories I think we're gonna go for. So let's move on to shoes now. Again, probably a weird method. Most people probably go with shoes first, but that's just me. So these are probably my favorite shoes, which are these ones by Dart, I think, Dart 77. They're massive boots, and they have like the laces falling out of them. For some reason it looks really good, and I feel like I just love it, so I just use it on like most of my sims. But again, I have loads and loads and loads of shoes that I probably should clear out, but I am too lazy, so I do not do that. At this point I tend to move on to tattoos. So again, you click on the body, click tattoos. I sort of just scroll through and click on some different ones that I have and see what looks good. So I think this looks really cute. I think this might be Peachy Fairy, but I will link in the description. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm also just gonna give her a scar. This one is by this person here. Again, link in the description. It is another way to make your sims a little bit more unique, so I do tend to give my sims some stuff like this just to sort of differentiate them a little bit. And at this point I move on to the hair. So body hair is something that I give like majority of my sims when I remember, because again, it's a natural thing in life. So I tend to go with some arm hair. Obviously she has tattoos, so she probably can't have full arm hair. Now that is just me being too stupid and thinking it through way too much, but that is just me. These are from high school years, but there is also the default one, which is just from the base game, and also obviously the shave version. So I think I'm going to go with the base game one for this sim, and it looks like that. Again, obviously you can change the color and stuff like that. So when I'm at this point, I go back. This sounds really stupid, I know, but I go back to this section. So I click on the sim's face, and this is where I give them accessories, but the head accessories instead. Again, what an order, I know, but it's okay. It's okay, guys. Don't even worry. It's okay. I don't know why I do it either. I have this massive necklace pack, which you can get as a full collection by Praline Sims. It is so beautiful, and I feel like all of the necklaces are so good. But I also have a tendency to use headphones because I love the look of headphones around the neck. So again, these are other ones that I use. I will link these ones in the description as well. They just look really good around the sim's neck, and I feel like they just make, I don't know. I don't know. Clearly I don't know, but I like them. So now I move on to piercing. So click piercings. Again, I tend to always pretty much give my sims a septum piercing. It is a part of me now that I'm too scared to go away from. I just love septum piercings. Obviously I have one myself, and for some reason, because I have one myself, I feel like all my sims have to have them as well. So majority of my piercings are from Praline Sims, but I also have a big pack from MagicBot as well, and they have like a load of different facial piercings. For example, they have this bridge piercing, which I actually might give the sim. That looks really cute, and they have them on pretty much every single layer of piercings. I'm also going to give this septum by Aretha. I think this one is adorable, and because MagicBot has them all on different layers, I use again this divider thing, which then divides off into the different ones, so I can see when I'm at the next section, so I don't accidentally take any ones off that I don't want to. So I'm going to give her the bridge piercing back again, and also this lip piercing by the vegan tray as well, because something about the way that it goes right down her middle of the face is so perfect to me, so we'll go with that. And I think that's all the facial piercings I'm going to go for this sim. You can't actually see her ears, so I can't give her any earrings, which is a shame. Well, technically I could, but there's no point, you know. I'm also a massive fan of hats, so a lot of the time I go onto the hats and give my sim some, but unfortunately I think, is it the headphones? I think the headphones are glitching with this, so I'm not gonna be able to give this sim a hat, but a lot of the time I do tend to go with some because I actually love the look of hats so much, which is ironic because in real life I'm not a big hat person, but we move on. And with that, I think we are pretty much done with all of the things for one outfit. Of course, if I was doing this sim for actually playing with her in the game, I would do all the other outfits. Another little thing, if you're new to the game, you might not know this. If you click on an outfit, click this little arrow, you can make up to 5 outfits and you can make them all different. So say I wanted her to wear this outfit one of the days, I could do that, and she'll sort of go between it in game and she'll like wear whichever one she feels like that day. It's a really little fun feature like that you can do. So I'll just move myself over here now so you can see this section. So this is the final part of me making a sim. So a lot of the time I just randomize the sim's name because I do not know any names. So we'll go with Nyla. That's a very cute name. And of course you can change the pronouns if you use the English version of the sims. So we'll go with she, her for her. And if you click on the plumb bob up in the top here, you will see identity. And if underneath these two here, you click on this little customize button here, you can change a lot of different things. So for example, their physical frame, their clothing preference, if they can get others pregnant, become pregnant, neither, use the toilet standing up, and also the sexual orientation, which is a new thing that I've recently added. And I will make this sim bisexual, like pretty much majority of my sims. I cannot help it. But again, like you can check all these different options, which is very handy for when you're actually playing the game, if any different storylines you want to do. Up over here as well, you can change the walk style. So say you wanted to give this sim a different looking walk. Okay, I have poses in apparently, but you could do all these different things. She keeps posing, babes, please stop. But you've got like tough walk, goofy walk. You got all the different walks basically. You've even got the vampire one, which is honestly terrifying, and I hate it with every single part of my body, but that's okay. The voice isn't a thing that I literally never change, so I'm just not gonna ever do anything with that. It's something that I just do not care about. I never listen to my sims voices, I feel like, and I feel like if I did, it still doesn't matter. Like I just don't care. Then I just give this sim like an aspiration and whatever. That's the witch one. She is not a witch. We'll go with archaeology. She is apparently a genius, ambitious, loner. See, another little tip I have is pretty much every single time I make a sim, always give your sim a bad trait. Always, okay? Doesn't have to be all of them, but at least one bad trait is so good. I used to give my sims like genius, ambitious, and good, and it would be so boring to play with because like no one is genius, ambitious, and good. Like for example, me, I am gonna get a sims tattoo soon, and the sims tattoo is gonna be geek, creative, and socially awkward because I'm socially awkward, and that's a negative trait in the sims, and it basically makes it so it's more difficult to play as your sim, which is fun. It's more of a challenge. Obviously you don't have to do that, but I definitely recommend it. Then I also will give the sim some likes and dislikes. So for example, she likes black, she likes grey, she likes yellow, she likes alternative music and retro music, she likes rocker fashion, she likes baking, handiness, mixology, video gaming, she hates singing, and she hates wellness. And I don't tend to go with decor because honestly I don't know what it does in the game, but that is actually everything for this sim. So this was sort of a little tutorial of how I make my sims. Obviously this is sort of a sped up version. I do not normally pick the outfit first try or anything like that. It's more of just an example of how I play the game and how I make my sims. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I'm not entirely sure if it is, but hopefully it is. I just think that's a really good idea to sort of show you guys, if you're new to the game, or even if you're not new to the game but you just don't really like making sims, maybe get you into it a little bit more and show you some of the little fun Easter eggs that you can do in Create a Sim. But anyways, remember to like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in a video. Leave any suggestions for any future videos in the comments down below if you'd like to, and I'll see you guys in the video. I love you guys. Bye.